And we're here up at the old land. Gonna see if we can't get ourselves a squirrel and go out to this tree fort thing I built you guys haven't even seen yet. Let's go. We're gonna take the air rifle with us today. Got the 25 caliber Kral puncher breaker, and I sighted it in earlier. And it's been a little bit since I've used it. I was having a little bit of a hard time. The shots were just all over the place. They were just everywhere. And I looked down, and it turned out I had accidentally packed the bag with 22 caliber rounds. I went up and grabbed some other rounds. They looked really cool, like this little cookie cutter pattern, so they should spread. Those just were super inconsistent as well. So I cleaned the barrel, went back to my favorite Exact King 25s, and boom, spot on, just stacking the shots up. So this will be what we're going after our squirrel with, and then we'll catch and cook our squirrel and cook it up the tree today. I'm excited about this because I haven't shown you guys this fort. It was supposed to be for a TV show, but I got kicked off the TV show. Not because I was, well, yeah, I don't know, whatever. So cool. I'm Zachary Fowler, and you're watching Fowler's Makery and Mischief. Yeah. I get about 12 to 14 shots out of it. And there's this area in which, where it's too full, the shots go a little bit higher. And then when it's a little bit on the lower side, they go a little bit lower. So if I paid more attention to it, I could probably get about 36 shots out of it, and just have to know how that works. Let's go for a little walk in the woods, see if we can't find ourselves a squirrel. So you might remember this from my bear safe hammocking. I made this one, oh, I don't know, must be 3 years ago now. I don't think I dare to go up there. It wasn't the best lashing line that I chose. This was before I started using the tarred bank line, which the tar protects it from the sun. And so the lashing on this is all white nylon line, and it's definitely degraded from the sun. We got something. Not what we were looking for. Big old porcupine up in the tree. Hey little porcupine, you kind of stand out like a sore thumb. He's not being phased, he's taking a nap. His head must be tucked around underneath him or something. Squirrels are really tasty. They're like little Cornish hens almost. Not a lot on them, but you get a big one, it's pretty decent to eat. For one person, maybe even two. And I even brought some apples, so I was gonna make an apple chutney. My clip came undone. Let's see. He was through here this morning. Yep, big buck. Everybody else is out hunting deer, and we're out here looking for squirrels. I have another air rifle coming that's gonna shoot arrows, so this is part this and part scouting mission as well. Very rich, musky. I don't see any blood, but there's a nice gouge where the pellet punched through them. I don't see any blood on the branch. I heard him, saw him hit here and kind of like go over the cliff. Considering the nick on the tree and the lack of blood on the branch, I'd have to rewatch it on the Tacticam, but it must have skunned him and made him go all like, ah, and take off. Big nest. He made it home safe. All right, on to the next one. There's a little porcupine right there. And now there's two. I don't know where the other one came from, but after making my way all around, missing that one squirrel, whether I winged him or got him and he dug into a hole, either way I lost him, which is kind of a bummer. And at this point I almost feel bad if I got a squirrel, because I went all the way around the lands beyond my land that I have permission to hunt on, and just nothing doing. So I think it's a sign. We're supposed to have porcupine up a tree and cook it up a tree with our apple thing and make it taste real good. Porcupines can be kind of an invasive species at times. They, especially in like farms and urban areas, they you know, they'll really mess things up. Let's get our porcupine, and then we'll head up to the tree for it. Sounded clean. He's down, and I don't hear any movement. Looked like it was where I was going for. It was like right behind the ear. Nice clean drop. Let's go collect our lunch. Yep, nothing. Do not pet them this way. You could actually pet a porcupine if you had a pet porcupine, as long as you pet him that way and he doesn't get his quills up. But check these out. There's one that came out. They come out fairly easily. Right there. Oh yeah, I can stab it into my finger pretty easily. So you get one of these in you, you're going to need to cut it because it's full of air, and that should make it so that you can pull it out a little bit easier. So I'm going to take some of these long wire hairs. It kind of reminds me of deer hair, the way it's very stiff, but look at how long it is. It's got a good 5 inches or so, and I think these long wiry hairs will make some awesome fly tying. I haven't done a lot of that, and I'm going to save a pile of quills too. Maybe there's something I could do there, either fly tying or make a Native American styled necklace. I always like to try to make the most out of, you know, something I harvest from the wild. I still have a squirrel from when Chris and I did it, drying in the wall, and I meant to tie some flies this spring and I haven't done it. So maybe with these two things combined, get off my butt and do some squirrel and porcupine flies for spring and or for late fall this year, and do some trout fishing, or for the ice fishing, right? It's good. Quite a bit. Didn't even make a dent in how many quills he has. I think that'll be enough. Hopefully that's enough, and I don't end up doing some project and be like, oh, if I only had half as many again. There's I definitely get quite a bit. I mean, that's one pinch real quick, just each time. Pinch, big pile. Pinch, big pile. You can't even tell that it's made a difference. So I tried to get a bunch of short ones and a bunch of some longer ones, and maybe I can make, I don't know, something cute for Sarah. Some cool earrings, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's some other stuff if I look it up that some of my old lore books that I haven't done before. Some sort of a fish hook, or I know you can. I believe you can sew with these, but they don't seem that stiff to me. It doesn't take much to bend them. So we'll see. Take it home. Definitely can make a fly with it from the hair, some of these longer hairs like I was saying, and can definitely use some of that for some sort of a fly body as well. So I'm going to process up the porcupine right now. That'll be in an unlisted link below if you want to see that sort of thing, and we will get him ready for the pan. He has a slight musky smell to him, and but clean. Everything I've seen so far is very clean. I've been pretty fortunate that I've never harvested something that I was so grossed out by because of, I don't know, something that that stopped me from being able to eat it. You always check the organs when you're processing your food, and if the organs are damaged or spotted, like the liver, things like that are messed up, you can't eat the organs. It could also be, if it's really bad, I mean, it could be a sign of there's something really wrong with it. He does have a little bit of a musky smell, but not bad. There's only been one time where I did something kind of gross and ate it anyway. The rabbit on the 30-day survival challenge with Chris Thorne, drop forage survival. I didn't tell him about it, but the one I shot with the 50 cal, like worms were coming out of it and stuff, and I just processed it up, and I went and just boiled it for 6 hours with some adobo, and we ate it. If I had told him, he probably wouldn't have touched it, and my partner would have been too weak to go on, and I would have been able to eat the whole rabbit by myself, but I kept it to myself, cleaned it up. I didn't see any worms in the rest of the meat. It was like kind of between the hide and the outside of the meat, and there was no other sign of it, and we ate it. I know, kind of gross, right? But we literally were surviving, and so it was, that's how you roll, you know? So much meat here. Sarah did say to bring her back some meat, squirrel meat, bring her back a leg. Once we process it all down, we make it into a delicious meal. I'll bring some home. She'll never know the difference. I'll put a clip at the end so you can see what her reaction is when I tell her after she eats it and she says how delicious my cooking is, that it's actually porcupine. And we got a porcupine. A nice, clean porcupine meat, just like any other meat from the store, honestly. It looks a little bigger than, you know, the rabbits and stuff that I've got in the past, and a lot cleaner and a lot nicer looking than the raccoons and especially possum. That was tough. I'll get cleaned up and head up and do some cooking. Moss clean up. We'll sprinkle a little water on there. Don't even have to tear the moss up. It's just a nice little Brillo of the woods. Scrub those hands up and get them nice and clean. It was a very clean animal, actually. I was pretty impressed with that. Pretty psyched. And make a culinary masterpiece up in the trees. What are the odds that I can get these home safely without jabbing myself? Ow. Looks like I left my tarp up there. Whoops. Other than that, first glance, it looks pretty good. Well, before we climb up there and all that, let me introduce you to our sponsor for today's video. ECOFLOW River 2, the world's smallest, most powerful power pack. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I feel like after trying it, I am. Check this out. This thing's so powerful. Just in case you're that lazy, you don't want to bring a handsaw, just make some little firewood for cooking up on the up in your tree shelter. It literally said I had 32 minutes while I was running it of runtime that I could be chopping up firewood with this thing. That's a little ridiculous. You don't necessarily need it for that, but it's pretty cool that it has the capability of that. You want to run a small vacuum cleaner, go out and clean your car without running extension cords out. You have this with you on an adventure. That's a lot of power out of this little thing. And when we unboxed it at home, it's so tiny, and put it on to charge, it only takes an hour, not even an hour to charge. So when I go out on these little adventures, maybe not so much today's adventure, it's a small adventure, I need some power, especially if I do an overnight. This little River 2 has lots of power, 2 USB-A and USB-C ports, so I can charge my cameras and be sure to bring you guys the best footage possible. And just like all of their other power packs, you can hook up to the EcoFlow solar panels. Any one of them will plug into this. With this in the back of your canoe, if you're going for a little 3-day trip and you were filming, you could totally keep all of your camera equipment charged. When Sarah and I did the 3 days in Florida with the original River, the fact that it charged so slow off the solar panels was a problem because we were adventuring during the day and we only had a small amount of time to charge from, whereas this one would have been able to be fully charged in that small 3-hour window we had each time. Unlike the original River Power Pack from EcoFlow, this thing charges twice as fast. It has this handy dandy cutting surface on top for chopping vegetables. Works pretty good. With the original River, you can't even set one coffee cup on top. With the River 2, you can fit up to 6 coffee cups, and there's still room for more if you want to stack them higher. You can get 1600 watts of AC output out of this little power pack, as well as powering up to 11 devices without having to add one of those crazy extension cords and making it super dangerous. Get the EcoFlow app and you can pair it with your phone, customize your charging and output needs. If it's a 2 or 3 day adventure, this is gonna be perfect for me and I won't have to bring nearly as much power pack as I used to. So let's get on with checking out the tree fort and doing some cooking. If you're interested in the EcoFlow products, check it out. November 11th through 28th, huge Black Friday sale for EcoFlow. Up to 50% off. Check out the link in the description below. You're not gonna wanna miss this huge sale from EcoFlow. Well, here it is. The old, or like I said before, I built this a year ago for a TV show. And these are actually tongue and groove, so it didn't need to be lashed. The purpose being, like, if you're out in a survival situation, you could save on the materials you have with you. It's a year old now. You guys want to see the build? It's never before seen. It was supposed to be on TV, and you know what? If it had ended up on TV, it would have been like 3 minutes long, with like half of it was like just the B-roll of the trees and the bark on the trees and the sparkling light on the water and things like that. So because it didn't end up on TV, you get to see the full build. And while you're watching that, I'm gonna tidy up a little bit so I can show you around and we'll do some cooking up there. Maine is home to the largest population of black bears in the lower 48 states. That's like 35,000 bears. Fortunately, they're not huge on chasing people down and attacking them unless they're protecting cubs or they're protecting a kill. But if you do run into a black bear, don't run away. They can run 30 miles an hour. And that's just gonna trigger their prey response. What you wanna do is just keep facing the bear, breathe deep, back away slowly, maybe say, hey bear, let them know you're there. So when I'm looking for a place to build a shelter, I'm looking for abundant resources close by. So I don't have to travel or burn extra calories to build what I'm trying to build. And I think we found a good spot right here. I can build something between these trees here, and then there's a lot of smaller trees that I can cut down to build my shelter up high. And it's kind of a unique spot too, because it's a valley here, and I'm noticing in the mud there's a lot of deer prints. So maybe while I'm up there, I'll even see some deer wandering through. Got my tools. I think I'm just gonna start by clearing away some of these smaller suckers, which will only help these bigger trees out as time goes on, because they're not drawing life away from them. And they're not doing so good anyways, being underneath the shadow of the big guys. All right, now I got all the little suckers cleared away. I can see what I have to work with. I think I have about 8 good trees. All right, so to build this, I have some trees, and we'll have a ladder. Oh my goodness, it's starting to snow. Maine, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. And then I'll build a couple of beams going across, and those will have a netting between them to make like a hammock bed. But for now, the most important thing is going to be to build a ladder. There's the side of those main ladder supports. It'll be a dovetail, and each of the rungs will fit into the dovetail on both sides. That'll save me on materials, and I'll have that lashing for building the hammock bed up there and making me a really solid, sturdy ladder. Let's build. Look at that. They're maples. Sap. A little bit sawdusty, but good. All right, I want to make it about 20 feet long. So 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. Oops, that's the end of that one. Guess we're going for 16 feet then. There we go. 16 feet should be plenty high enough to keep me out of reach of the bears. And for those of you that are like, wait a minute, don't bears climb trees? Sure they do, but they don't go out of their way to try to mess you up unless there's some unmitigating circumstances. Mainly if I'm sleeping on the ground and there's cubs on one side of me and mom's on the other side, and she realizes, wait a minute, I'm between the two of them, it's not gonna go well for me. So if I'm up in the tree, she has a chance that she can rally her cubs when she realizes I'm in the area and take them off to somewhere else, and it doesn't have to end in conflict. Nine rungs. Cool. Well shoot, with only one rung fit and still 8 more to go, I don't think I'm moving up into the trees tonight. Whew. So I better set up a fire and a little tarp and get ready to spend the night and start working on it tomorrow morning. One of my most frequently asked questions is, how do you go to the bathroom in the woods? I think they're talking about number 2, and what do we use for toilet paper, right? So right next to me here is my favorite choice for toilet paper, moss. Nice rock moss. It almost seems a shame to pull it off sometimes. It looks so good there, beautiful in the outdoors, but a nice piece of rock moss with a fluffy surface. There are some that are fluffier than others, and it's just a matter of making a little pile of this before you go to use the bathroom, stacking it up next to where you're gonna go, hop a squat, and then lightly brushing yourself clean, and there you go. Not too shabby. Moss, who'd have thunk it? right, what are the odds that I can pick this up and carry it like a regular ladder? Boy, she's beefy. Oh, I'm gonna throw right back out doing this. I should have built it in place. I'm gonna have to drag it. She'll go. Fortunately, I only made it 10 feet away. Lift with your back and not with your knees. Or something like that.
You gotta lift with your back.
What? Really?
Ew! You lift with your back!
Wow, this thing's heavy. I don't know about this. Whew, needs made. Need to use some smarts and some leverage. All right. Phew. Do I dare try to move it over my arm like this thing? No, too heavy. You miserable puke. One inch at a time. Legs are lashed so they can't flip up. Come on. Oh yeah, almost there. Oh, gotta get me on that tree. That's the tipping point. Tipping point. Yes, she's tipped. It's all its own weight. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank the Lord. Oh. Whew. Going up. Whew, this thing is super sturdy. I like it. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, now I grab some of these other poles I got here and start building the rest of it. That's what I'm looking for. A little offcut from yesterday's build. I'm gonna dig up a little bit of clay, and I rub that into the end of the stick. Now, with all that clay on there, I can sharpen my knife, dragging it backwards across that clayed up end of the stick and bring that edge right back to razor sharpness. Then you're good to go. You're ready to start your work for the day. First try. Oh yeah, still got it. Did I do it 2 in a row? Oh! Yeah, still got it. There we go. Move you east. Yeah, I nailed it. It's a good start. I got my main poles up there, and I added an extra one. Unlike the plan was just to have 2, but just felt like there was a bigger gap than I meant there to be. And I don't want my flooring boards to span too big of a gap to end up weak. So 3 poles, but it's getting windy. I got a few more hours of daylight, but as windy as it is, it's pushing me all around, making it hard to work. It's taking twice as long. I think I might be spending another day on the ground. How do you navigate in the woods if you don't have a compass? Well, it actually turns out that these trees all have compasses right on them. The moss that you see on these trees tends to grow heavier on the north side of the tree. It's hiding from the sun on the south side. So at least knowing that, you can head in the right direction. And if you're the least bit prepared, it'll help you find your way home. Oh my goodness. That worked a charm. This thing is so stable now. What a difference. Oh, this is so comfortable. Oh, I nailed it. People always wonder how we shower when you're out in the woods for a long period of time. Simple answer is you don't. Joints still seem pretty solid 1 year later. That one seems a little on the looser side, but doesn't seem like it can come out. So these that's still solid, holding it in. I did do a little extra lashing here and here just to make sure everything is good. Oh man, well I guess those tarps can hold water for a long time. It literally is tomorrow or something is 1 year later from when I built this, and that's full of water. Still seems solid. feel much of a wiggle to it. Get this tarp out of my way. All right, going for it. We're going for it. Oh, scary. Oh man, this is solid. My bed's still here. I just dump a bunch of that water. Ow. I finished it and I never actually spent the night up here. Like I was supposed to come back and then it was all canceled.
Weren't you fired?
Is it not a fact that you were fired from your job?
No, you were fired.
I never did more with it and I thought, oh, I could use this for deer hunting. Oh, this is really comfortable. This is really, I didn't do a very good job of obviously rigging up my tarp. I thought I had brought that home with me, and we'll see how she fares after a year of just being in the outdoors from the sun and the wind. And my plan was to come back and then I would tie the tarp up better and get it so that it's, you know, there's some sticks that were holding it out better and a tighter ridge line for it so it'd be more durable. And then I was gonna build some more railings and some more everything. But right now, maybe I could bring up some like camo blind or something, or brush, kind of thicken this in. Don't worry, dear, it's just a little squirrel's nest up in the tree. Don't mind them squirrels, they don't shoot back or nothing. And sit right here. I got my trail cam down there and they're on the footage. There's a nice buck or two that have come by in the night. Earlier in the year there was some little 4-pointer, and there's been a lot of does, and so I got a doe tag. I'll have to check on when the dates of how long that's still good for. But I get this air rifle that does arrows. The 50 cal does that, and you've seen me do that, but this is a new Kral air rifle that 357 and arrows. I can sit right up here, prop it up on the bench here, get myself a deer. Suppose I can make a couple things so I can have a seat here, bit of a table right there, and make my cooking, do some cooking right there. That way I can climb down and get firewood and climb back up. Guess we better get some mud. Nice. I was able to come up through with my backpack on. I didn't really think about it that way when I built it. But that would have been annoying if you had to try to wrestle it up here. Let's see. I'm gonna need a shovel to bring up some mud. Is there a log I could throw this into? Right. A tree. There's a log. Right there. Boom. All right, and got our little pot. It's a little small for the porcupine, but we'll put the legs in here. And, ooh, coffee. I almost forgot I brought that. Journal, bank line. I'm gonna throw a piece of this down just in case I wanna pull up something. The old backwoods dumbwaiter. Wonder why they called it a dumbwaiter. I mean, because it seems like it was a good idea, not like a dumb idea. We're gonna have to do something with our little fella here because I want to use that to put mud in to bring up to create my fire on the platform. There. We're on an adventure, we got meat hanging. You're doing good. Hey, I don't know if you noticed this in the video, but as part of that TV show stuff, that big spot right there missing the Hidden Woodsman patch, they make you take off all the logos. And on my vest, you probably didn't see it, but it was covered up with tape, the LL Bean thing. It's been a year and I keep forgetting to do it and thinking about it. I'll have to later stitch that back on right where it belongs. They love the Hidden Woodsman gear. Best quality backpacks. The other thing you might not have noticed, or maybe you did notice because it's pretty and obvious, I was a much bigger guy 1 year ago.
After alone I had taken 2 inches out of the vest to make it fit tighter, I had to add that 2 inches back last year.
I've been doing the Noom, so unlike doing a survival challenge where I lose all the weight and then in time, the way I eat and end up stuck in the office, like I've learned a lot of really good habits that I don't think I'm gonna break them. I think over the past 3 months, what's turned me into this, 27 pounds lighter, is probably gonna stick around for the rest of forever. Maybe when I get old, I'll get old and a little bit fat. Sorry, hon. Runs in the family, if it does happen. She'll still love me. Hopefully. Not really mud, but it's wet. You really want clay for something like this, because then it's a permanent thing. But this will work for a one-off. I really didn't mean to do this, but in my haste to get out of the woods, I forgot to actually bring the handsaw as well. So I guess we are gonna keep going with the power tool. I mean, it's ridiculous, but use what you got, right? When life gives you lemons and you're on a boat and you got scurvy, you eat the lemon. A slightly longer cord would have been nice too, but that's not the power pack's fault. That's, I cut my cord accidentally a while ago, so now it only has a 1.5 foot long cord. There we go. That's enough green wood for my fire bed. I did it. I guess we could just dump this out. Oh, don't want to lose any of it over the edge. Yeah. Get your hands in that dirt and get dirty. Get out in the woods and get dirty. Oh yeah. It's gonna work great. That's perfect. It's all green, so that should protect it. The green stuff won't burn through in one cook. Come on up. I'll have to keep it nice and low because getting past it, just a perfect day. Praise God for adventure, for the beautiful creation to play in. I'm glad I got the porcupine, because I think at this point I actually would feel pretty bad if I didn't see a single squirrel, but I go and harvest the only squirrel I've ever seen this year up in the woods. Let's take my birch bark and fluff it up. There we go. Woo, we got fire. Fire in the trees, run boy, run. Oops, just lost a piece of firewood over the side. It's gonna take some gentle handling. Fortunately, any of the lashings, if these ones did get burnt, these are just holding the logs so they don't roll side to side. This isn't anything structural. It's just so it's not wiggly underneath foot. So if I do get a coal on one of them and it melts the line a little bit and ruins the integrity, I'm not going down, don't worry. I'll be just fine. Except for sitting right here is the hot seat. Apparently, we've got to move over. There we go. Just add a little smoke and flavor that way. Isn't this cool? Isn't this cool? Ooh, it's getting a bit smoky over here. Smoke, rabbit, rabbit. Porcupine, porcupine, something. 1, 2, 3. What I'm gonna do is cook the porcupine up a little bit, slowly, kind of smoking, warming, flavoring it. And then I will add it to the chutney, which is just apples, apple cider vinegar, and usually they use mustard seed and some other stuff in it, but I'm going for Bragg's apple cider vinegar, maple adobo. So it's not a legitimate chutney, just a expression of my feelings when I think of an apple chutney. These are an organic farm-raised apple from the town of Union. Actually, I don't even know where they're from. They were just on the counter at home. So I don't know if these are even locally or sustainably harvested. Why, no, sir, Warden. I wasn't baiting deer with apples. I was making an apple chutney for my possum. I mean, for my for my porcupine I was cooking in my tree stand. Pretty sure it's okay to make apple chutney in your tree stand. That's just, what kind of world do we live in? It's so ridiculous that you can't peel your apple. Apple cider vinegar. Blub, 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 blub. Good. Hefty dose of the maple adobo. Whoa. I'm gonna dump it right in there. Wow, look at that. Put that on there. I'm gonna have to watch this really closely because this is one of those things, if your pan flips off the fire, I'm always talking about that, I feel like. If your pan flips off the fire, you're hurting, well, you're hurting bad here. It doesn't just flip a little bit. That's just gonna go everywhere if it comes off the top of here. There won't be any recovering some of that to eat. Unless by some magic coincidence, she does a triple Lutz and lands on her feet, right? All right. A nice chutney's supposed to look, right? Started to burn along the edge. Hopefully I didn't get any burnt flavor into it. Let's try it. That's good. Very hot, but just right to go and stick some meat in here. Cooking and smoking now. It's probably been an hour. You want a winger, a winger, a lit. Need a bigger boat. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Doesn't that just look like a brown delicious? Somebody's gonna be like, ah, that looks like the weird wooded beardsman's cooking. And you do something in a stew pot and you're trying to get the most of it. That's more than likely what's gonna happen. Now, they're all pretty well covered. We'll put that back on some coals here to simmer. A dash of water. Yeehaw. Oh, this is crazy. This is too cool. Crazy and cool. Right in my journal. Whew, smoke's getting to me though. That is the one biggest disadvantage I have to say of cooking up in a tree. Cook down below, you can shift to the side of the fire, the wind isn't blowing the smoke in your face. What a life, huh? Life, huh?
Dear Diary, my mom loves to tell the story to people about how when I was around 10 years old, she filled a glass of water halfway up and asked me, is this half full or half empty? In a desire to find out if I was an optimist or a pessimist. She believed she already knew the answer, and thinking that I'm an optimist, I'd say it was half full. I surprised her with, it's full. She thought I was a super optimist. But in reality, due to all the spills at the dinner table and all the spills when we go out to eat, I was only ever given a half a glass of anything. So as far as I was concerned, any glass halfway filled up was 100% full. And even now, on some fundamental level, I see every opportunity and every situation that way. Whether they're half or not, it's always a full to me.
Didn't build my floor tight enough. I'm losing stuff out of the tree. Well, the meat is pulling back from the bone on this bottom one. Well, maybe we'll pull this leg out. It's definitely cooked. I'll put that back on to simmer. So I can tell you right now, this is gonna be tough. When I did meatlets like this, it's best for them to cook all the way overnight. Pretty good. And almost impossible to eat. Ugh. It's so rugged. so stiff. Flavor though, nailed it. That's really good. Almost reminds me of goat a little bit. You know? So it's like, see how tough and, I mean, like, yeah, like goat. It's getting stuck in my teeth. Just like goat does. Good flavor. Spot on flavor. Nothing gamey and gross about it. Not like a possum. That's that little piece right there when the knife cut through it at the edge of the, that kind of stuff. Very appley. And the maple. Very fibery. It definitely needs some long stewing, but I'm very happy with that. Yeah, another fun little adventure. I'm gonna have to carve some toothpicks after this. Definitely the best way to do anything like this wild game. Get it going. Move a couple coals to the side and bury your pot as much as you possibly can and let it sit until the next morning. Then the meat just falls right apart in your mouth. Might still be a bit stringy when it comes to things like goat or wild game. The flavor penetrates all the way through and the meat just falls right off the bone. For a fast little adventure, one day catch and cook up a tree. I'm pretty happy. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and you enjoyed the build that never made it onto the TV show. I will catch you guys in the next one. Fowler out. I'm gonna try to throw it into the water. There we go. There we go, that'll put it out. Oh no, my butt is burning. Oh, coffee. Oh, coffee abuse. As much as I love all my tools and I would never go into the wild without the right tools for the job, if you're only allowed one, it's gonna have to be a knife.
Nick, give him your wallet.
What for?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Special thanks once again to our sponsor, EcoFlow, for their great power packs and making these videos possible by sponsoring us. Check out EcoFlow, linked in the description below, if you want to know more about their power packs and their special Black Friday sale. Right, so I processed up some of the porcupine after doing a whole night bake on it, so now it's all tender and it was just falling off the bone. And I did some rice. We'll get that ready for Sarah and the girls. But rice and apple stuff for each bowl. So I've already given it a nibble and it's like 10 times better than it was when I was up in the tree. And now we're gonna see what Sarah and the girls think. All right, put butter down, it's time to eat. All right.
No.
Say grace.
No.
Lord, thank you for this food. Bless this food to our body. In Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, silly heads.
Can I have a fork?
You may have a fork there, right there. All right. Everybody give it a good try.
I don't need it.
See what you think. What do you think?
I'm probably throwing up after
Who's going for the first bite? No? What?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's really good.
That's not a glowing report. Did it get weird since the last time I ate it? Like, what was wrong? What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
That's good.
I don't like
You
it.
don't really that, but.
Can I have soy sauce?
All right.
No, I mean it.
Is it that bad?
I don't like the steak. I just like the rice.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
not steak.
What is it?
I'm gonna take another bite and I'll tell you.
Is it lamb,
No.
pig,
No.
cow,
No.
Skunk.
meat?
It's meat, that's for sure.
Skunk.
This better not be duck
It's not skunk.
meat. It's duck meat, isn't it?
No, it's not duck meat. That would be really, really good.
Is it goose?
No.
What is it?
It's porcupine.
Oh my god! You savage! Savage! I hate you!
Oh, come on. It wasn't that
I
bad.
hate you!
What'd you think?
Murdered an defenseless animal!
All right. Yeah.
It's not my favorite out of what you've done, but
I love
it's
porky.
still pretty good with the apple.
Yeah. It's
Disgusting.
edible,
It's edible.
It's disgusting.
but you're still looking forward to the Swiss chard and to wash it down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what their problem is. That's all right, more for me. I'll eat it all. Thanks for watching. Once again, guys, see you in the next one. Fowler.
Bye-bye!
Family, out. You earned your candy.
Yay.
The best way to start a fire in the rain is to be prepared, or to know where to find good tinder. The higher up, the drier up for your tinder, and the polypore fungus off of a birch tree makes a great fire starting kit.